Hey everyone, Leroy here with my first Koppers update of 2022. So with the new year, we're going to try a new format with my video communications. Now the plan is to release one mid-month and one end-of-month, with the end-of-month video being a brief interview segment with a Koppers team member who will bring insight into their piece of the world within Koppers and maybe even a little bit outside of Koppers. Now the mid-month video, which is this one, will have me providing the 412 or the download from the Berg. I'm sure you have just confused most people watching this from outside of Pittsburgh, so let me take a moment to explain. For our international viewers, in the US and Canada, the digits 411 have historically been the numbers dialed to reach directory assistance, also known as information. As a result, the term 411 found its way in American culture as a substitute for the word information, as in asking your friend to give you the 411 on what was presented at the last all-employee meeting that you weren't able to attend. Okay, so you're now saying, thanks Leroy for telling me about the origins of 411, but you said you were going to provide the 412. Can you provide the 411 on that? Sure I can. 412 happens to be the telephone area code of Pittsburgh, which is where our corporate headquarters are located, so it provides a cute little twist on the concept of me providing the 411 out of the 412. Sorry to put you through all that, so in the interest of time, here is the 412. I want to start off this 412 with 4 things I want you to know about as we start the new year. Number 1, we officially returned to the office in the US on January 10th. And yes, the Omicron variant of COVID has everything seemingly in flux, but we felt it was important to put a stake in the ground for starting to return to whatever awaits us in this rapidly changing world. For safety reasons, it is for vaccinated employees only, and there are several safeguards in place to protect employees when they are in. It's also a flexible work environment with employees able to work remotely on certain days as agreed upon with their managers. Now, anyone who's been exposed to COVID or is feeling any cold or flu-like symptoms, you must work remotely until you clear the quarantine period. Now, different rules are in place at the plants due to the requirements to be present to serve customers, and zero harm remains our guiding principle for navigating through this challenging environment. Now, while I'm on the subject of returning to the office, I want to give a hats off to the Pittsburgh and Harmarville admin team for their efforts to create and assemble nearly 200 welcome back care packages, which included items such as reusable lunch bags, coffee mugs, and water bottles. Now, the packages were put together with sustainability in mind as we look for ways to eliminate waste. So kudos go to Denise Young, Lee Swinner, Elizabeth Orsanya, Ann Sable, Tammy Smith, Marianne Steele, Olivia Test, and Pam Wild for their efforts on such a thoughtful gesture in support of their team members. The second thing I want you to know is everything you're reading about regarding the challenges of fielding a daily workforce in this COVID environment is absolutely real. Our site managers are pulling their hair out every day dealing with employee exposures, symptomatic employees, and positive diagnoses, and the quarantining that ultimately accompanies all those events. And like magicians, somehow they still find a way to balance schedules to get things done and get them done safely. It's been an amazing job by all. My hat goes off again to all of our site leaders who, if this were baseball, would all be all-stars with as many curveballs that they're figuring out how to hit every single day. So if you know someone leading a site, send them a note of appreciation for all they're doing under extremely stressful conditions. Awesome job, team. Now on to number 3. You may have seen that the Supreme Court recently shot down the emergency temporary standard that would cover all private companies with over 100 employees, which would include Koppers, and require them to either mandate all employees be vaccinated or test all unvaccinated employees. So what that means for us is that we do not have to institute those requirements for employees, but we could do it voluntarily if we wanted, as several other companies have chosen to do. At this time, we're electing to not institute mandatory vaccinations or weekly testing, and instead we'll continue to require all employees to follow our COVID safety protocols that are in place. Now, if you have any questions about this, speak to your site manager or culture engagement representative. The fourth and final thing I'd like you to know for now is that the finance team is working on tabulating the final results for 2021, which we expect to announce publicly in the back half of February. And no matter where we exactly land, as we guided on our November conference call, we will finish ahead of 2020's performance, which will mark the 7th straight year of improvement, which is quite an accomplishment and something that everyone should feel proud of. I look forward to sharing the details with you once we have them, including our view on 2022, as we look to add to our streak and continue to strengthen Koppers' position as an essential member of the global ecosystem. Now, for the one thing I'd like everyone to think about, it's how we reinstitute our sense of urgency around zero harm. Now in 2021, we took a small step backwards with most lagging metrics showing some deterioration from 2020, which frankly is disappointing, Now, granted, that's compared to a baseline 2020 that was our best year ever from a safety standpoint. Now, the other side of that coin is we're still a far way away from zero. So I'd ask every Koppers employee to step back, ask themselves, what one behavioral change could I make that could create a safer environment at Koppers? Now, for me personally, it's establishing a greater presence at our operating sites to see firsthand the challenges we're dealing with day to day. What's the one behavioral change that you would look to make to help improve zero harm at Koppers? So that segues perfectly into two things to look forward to, with the first being that I'll be resuming a more ordinary travel schedule in 2022 after having been sidelined for the better part of the last 2 years. Now, I'm excited about it, and I'm already putting plans together for my first trip, which you'll be hearing about soon. I can't wait to see some Koppers team members that I haven't seen in a very, very long time. The second thing to look forward to is a revamped Koppers new look website that has been under development for the better part of the past year. Now, we're well along the path at this point and in the process of making some final decisions that will enable the team to finish its work and have something in place in the second quarter of this year. Stay tuned for what will be a massive improvement over what's currently in place. So that's it this time for the 412. Hope you found it informative. Look forward to catching up at the end of the month with our first Koppers employee highlight. Stay safe and stay strong, everybody.